Good afternoon everyone and welcome back to another episode of Planet Coaster Alton Towers. Today we are continuing work on the queue line. I've also been making a lot of changes to the terrain because it turns out I got the terrain completely wrong. Apparently the hill that goes down to Enterprise is a lot more steeper than I made it. So that will be the start of the episode, and then we'll be moving on to doing a bit more of the queue line. So yeah, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you're not already subscribed, then please do consider subscribing because it helps out the channel a lot more than you think. With that being said, let's get into the first time lapse. So then, as I just said, for the first time lapse, yeah, I'm completely changing the terrain of this hill. Turns out I got it completely wrong. I did it a lot more flat than it actually is. In real life it's a lot more steeper. Oblivion's entrance is a lot more high up than what I did. So yeah, this is essentially going to be the first part of the video, and this is why this video is kind of late going up. Well, it's late editing it. Normally I edit my videos around 12 noon. Right now I'm editing it at 3:30. So yeah, this took up the first few hours of this morning to do all this changing terrain. I had to change the queue line as well to make it all normal again. Yeah, it was just chaos really. When I realised I did the terrain wrong, I honestly just wanted to quit because it was so much work to completely redo it, and of course I have to redo it, don't I? I can't just leave it inaccurate like that when I know that something's wrong, and yeah, I can't leave it. So here I'm just redoing all the queue line fences, redoing all the scenery to be honest, and adjusting it to its new height, and it should be a lot more accurate now than what it was before really. So yeah, it's a minor setback, but at least it's all fixed now, and it does mean though that I haven't been able to get as much work as I wanted to do today, as I normally would have. Tomorrow is going to be a lot more work, definitely. I'm aiming for tomorrow's video to be the full queue line completion, and then we'll be starting the station on Wednesday. So yeah, I don't really know at the moment, but here, yeah, like I just said, adjusting all the scenery, getting it up to its new height, and what else is there to talk about? Yes, this is what I'm going to talk about now. Planet Coaster's path system. I hate it to bits, honestly. It's so annoying. You'll see in a minute me trying to attempt to get this path up the hill, but apparently the terrain is too steep, and I keep smoothing the terrain, I keep altering it, and still the terrain is too steep, the terrain is too steep. Oh my god, just shut up. Why have Frontier made the path system like this? Honestly, here we go. No, it's not this part. Where am I going to start doing it? This part. Keep saying terrain's too steep, or terrain's too uneven. I keep smoothing it, I keep editing it when it's just clearly not, is it? And it works completely fine. And then when I did it later, I am going down a hill instead, it worked completely fine. So yeah, here, enjoy some cinematics of the newly adjusted terrain. So then for the second part of the video, I'm going to be moving on to the second part of the queue, or the level 2 of the queue line, let's just call it that. And to start off with, I'm doing this cobblestone wall once again, like in the first parts of the queue line. You know, these kinds of walls and the rocks and all the, the concrete walls with Oblivion's logo on it. These are all throughout the queue, they're basically everywhere to be honest. So yeah, it is kind of annoying to do this queue line because it's so repetitive. Whereas something like Wickerman's queue line, it's very, very like drawn out. It's very what's the word? But it varies. Wickerman's queue line, let's just say that. But whereas this, it's literally just the same things over and over again, just wrapping all the way up the hill. Concrete wall, rocks, cobblestone, concrete wall, rocks, cobblestone. It's just the same thing over and over again. Later on in the video, of course, there's the massive sort of building in the middle of the queue line. I actually had some fun building that, to be honest. I found it quite a challenge to build something like that, but I mean, that's not in the video just yet. So just doing a bit more of the concrete walls here, of course, wrapping around and using these Team TK fences that look awfully similar to the real life ones. Of course, these are Cedar Fair TMTK fences on the Steam Workshop, and they work absolutely fantastic. They are fantastic TMTK pieces. Unfortunately, they're not 1 meter long. I wish they were 1 meter long. That would be so good if they were 1 meter long. They are 2 meters long, unfortunately, but I mean, it doesn't really matter too much what I'm using them for. But I would love to use those fences in other places that require them to be 1 meter long. It would just be so much better to do, to be honest. And yeah, the queue line for Oblivion's actually really quite weird now that I think about it, though, because it mostly just goes uphill, but that section I just did there actually goes downhill and flattens out a bit before going back uphill. It's so weird. Now here I'm actually starting the main queue line building in the middle of the queue line that you go in. I'm not really sure what it's called, but it's got like this sort of theming element in the middle of it that goes all the way up to the top. I have no idea what it is. It's some sort of broken thing. I really don't know. If you know what that thing in this building, which I'm going to be doing in a minute, is called, please put it down in the comments, because I have no idea what it is or what it's supposed to be. It's some sort of gadget or gizmo, I don't know. But at first I thought this video, this building, sorry, was a full circle. Apparently it's not. It's actually just a sort of a C shape, and then it sort of just straightens out after the curve. It's kind of weird. So once again, here I'm using these striped curb pieces like I did with the rehydrator. Of course, these are arrows in real life, they're not stripes, but yeah, we really don't have the time or the piece count to do those arrows. If I did the arrows, the piece count would just skyrocket, and so there's just no point in doing that. Of course, with this queue line, it was a bit odd at this part because this is where the fast track and single rider merges. Well, single rider isn't there anymore, but this is where fast track merges with the main queue. I mean, it doesn't really merge because it's still separate, but it basically uses the same path as the main queue, and there's just a fence in between that cuts them off. So yeah, it was kind of awkward to do that part of it. Of course, here doing the windows and everything. I love the architecture of these buildings in Oblivion's queue line though. Absolutely love them. They're so they're just so millennium, aren't they? Like, they are such a millennium architecture. It's so cool as well. I wish they would put this much thought into the architecture of the buildings now in Alton Towers, especially Wicker Man and the Smiler. As well themed as Wicker Man is, the architecture in the buildings of Wicker Man, it's a bit underwhelming because it's just a hut at the end of the day, isn't it? It's just a green hut with a bit of roof. Like, there's no actual cool looking architecture like Oblivion's queue line, is there? Or Air as well. Look at Air's station, what used to be the Air shop. Look at the architecture for that. It was so cool. Why don't Alton Towers do that anymore? No idea. But yeah, as you just saw there, the main queue goes off to the left, whilst the fast track queue of course goes over to the right. And here I'm starting the main central theming element in this little building thing. I still don't know what it's called, but yeah, it's basically this big telescope. It's not a telescope at all, is it? I've no idea, but it's just some sort of theming element. Let's just say a theming element from now on. And here I'm actually doing the platform now that it's of course resting on, and here I'm actually doing the roof for it. Whilst I was doing this roof, I didn't actually realise that the roof went all the way to the top. So there's this part of the roof here that I'm doing now, which is what the queue above rests upon. But then in the middle part, the centre part where the theming element is, that actually goes up another level right to the top. And I didn't actually know that at first, so of course I had to go back and change it and put a hole in there so the theming element could go right up to the top. So it was kind of a bit weird. So here we are starting the actual theming element. Yeah, so you probably recognise this thing already. I generally have no idea what this thing's called. If you know what it's called or you know what it is, please list it down in the comments, because I really want to know what it is. Is it some sort of black hole generator? God, that's just a guess there. I have no idea. But yeah, so it's like, it's a bit weird, this thing. It's so weird. I don't know why it's in the queue line. I'm not really sure what it has to do with Oblivion. I mean, yeah, I really don't know. But in the original concept of Oblivion's queue line, this is actually very similar to the original concept. Normally with theme park attractions, the real thing is very different to the concept. Like, we all remember the concepts of Smiler and Air as well. The concepts of Air and Smiler are so different to how they turned out to be, but this is actually very similar. And with this, it actually brings an end to today's video, so thank you very much for watching. If you're not subscribed already, then please do consider subscribing and do turn on notifications to never miss these daily Alton Towers Planet Coaster videos. So with that being said, I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Goodbye.